Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence to remember our troops abroad and their families here at home, and also the passing of Mr. Jost from Jost Garage, and also Jim Barry, who's a Spring Lake resident, but also a lawyer who did work in the area. Thank you. If the council would please let me on to the dance. We're going to kick off today's meeting with our current employee of the month. We're going to first bring them up here so we can properly embarrass them in front of everybody. So, if Nancy Murray, please come. Everyone knows she also worked at Belmar Elementary School for a while, too. How many years?
26 years.
That's a long time. She has taken on special assignments for the business administrator and chief financial officer, always with a cheerful attitude and ready to learn. Nancy organizes our resident feedback survey. Residents who interact with Borough Hall receive a survey asking residents to rate us on their performance. Nancy organized our Buy a Bench program, not an easy or simple task at all. She goes beyond the call of her regular duties without being asked. She brings a bright and positive spirit to Borough Hall, asks every day what more she can do and to be helpful, and is consistently polite, kind, and interested in helping all Belmar residents. So let's hear it for her. Employee of the month, she gets to have lunch with me.
That's exciting.
She gets $100 courtesy of the Belmar Business Partnership to spend at any of her favorite businesses. And she gets this very stylish hat.
Yes, indeed.
Very cool.
Okay.
I guess she gets clothes too. But most importantly, we take her picture.
Yeah.
And we put it on We'll put George in charge of taking the pictures. So, but anything you want to say? I'm being
Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it. I love living in Belmar. I love working in Belmar. I appreciate everyone that I work with, except for right at this moment. People didn't tell me that. I appreciate all the people that I work for. So, thank you.
Our pleasure. Oh yeah, let's take a picture. Come forward.
Yeah, she didn't have the confidence, however.
I wonder why the babies are out at night.
On three. 1, 2, 3. You deserve it.
Thank you. So I guess Eric's not getting it.
Yeah, no.
That was a pretty good story.
Yeah, no.
Next is a proclamation.
Borough of Belmar, New Jersey, proclamation by Mayor and Council, Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month. Whereas the maltreatment, abuse, and neglect of children is a significant social problem that damages children physically, mentally, and emotionally, and inflicts immeasurable harm on society as a whole, and all children deserve to be nurtured, protected, and free from physical or emotional harm. And whereas the state of New Jersey and the Department of Children and families believe that the best place to raise children is among strong, healthy families. And whereas the state of New Jersey is committed to building a continuum of community-based child abuse prevention and intervention programs that are culturally competent, strength-based, and family-centered, and that achieve positive outcomes for parenting and family relationships, as well as empower domestic violence victims and their children. And whereas the New Jersey Department of Children and Families embraces the standards for prevention programs developed by the New Jersey Task Force on Child Abuse and Neglect, and whereas all sectors of the community, including law enforcement, medical professionals, schools, courts, and media outlets, as well as numerous public and private agencies, have joined forces to promote public awareness and community involvement in strengthening families during the month of April and continuing throughout the year. Now, therefore, on behalf of the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Belmar, do hereby proclaim April 2015 as Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month, and urge our residents to become involved in efforts aimed at strengthening families and communities and preventing our children from being abused and neglected.
Thank you. Next, we're going to have public bidding on a marina bait shop. Anyone would like to publicly bid on the marina bait shop? Would you please come forward? Oh, hello. Very well. Mr. Mazzone, what's the minimum?
30,000.
Would you like to bid the minimum bid of $30,000?
Yes, I would.
Would you like to bid any more than $30,000?
How about we close her?
Any less than 30?
Any less than $30,000? All right, seeing no other people who are interested in bidding, we'll close up. I'm sorry, George, would you like to get up and bid against the chief of police?
Don't beat me up.
What's your address again?
He takes $1 out of his pocket.
It'd be the Greek Marina Bait Shop. Well, going once, twice, 3 times. Congratulations. Go ahead. Next is our workshop discussion. I'm going to move things around a little bit because I just change my mind sometimes. So we're going to do our DPW superintendent last. We have a great group here, but we have a couple people before I just want to sort of bring up. So if I can have Julie and Kathy come up very quickly. Julie and Kathy have a business across the street called The Senior Mix, which is a adult day stay. And I saw them going into the business, and I asked them to come and sort of explain to the mayor and council what they do and what kind of services they're going to provide for seniors here in Belmar.
We're right across the street, and it's basically a social day stay for seniors that maybe shouldn't be home alone during the day, need some supervision, activities, games, socializing, snacks, music, entertainment, a little exercise. So, physical therapist at a subacute rehab in the area, and I see the need for a lot of seniors that really could use some socializing, so we're excited to bring that to the area.
And some of the things I'm going to be mentioned to be things like chair yoga.
Yeah, chair exercise. We're going to have the way, so they can do the way.
Book clubs,
bingo,
gardening, all sorts of activities that you can participate in, or perhaps just hang out and talk and have a cup of coffee with somebody else. It's very homey. The place is set up beautifully. It used to be York Appraisal, and we've decorated it very, very nicely and homey. And it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful little respite for older people and a break for their caregivers, that they can drop them off and know they're going to be safe and stimulated.
What are the hours?
9 to 3:30, Monday through Friday, and it'll basically be like a morning session and an afternoon session, and you know, closed weekends and holidays.
And when do you start?
May 4th. But we'll be having people come in because we've been advertising in the CoStar, and we've gotten a wonderful response. And so we've set up appointments for people to come in and sign up and make reservations. Because we'll probably have a ratio of like 5 to 1. So we'll take reservations.
So people can't just show up, they have to sign up ahead of
Well,
time?
they could show up assuming there was space. But say there's only 2 of us there, then we would only have 10 people there. Right, or so like the ratio. But absolutely, drop-ins are welcome, and by the hour is also welcome.
And you're going to be able to leave some literature here?
Yes, we have some.
And what's the address?
brochures.
606 Main Street.
606 Main Street. That's the building that's just to the, as you look at it, to the right of Sweet Teas.
Exactly.
All right.
Being out.
It could be an out. Well, thank you, ladies. Thank you very much for coming in. Thank you for bringing this. Next, I want to bring up. I want to bring up Danielle Kuchar.
Yes.
Who's doing a hurricane thesis at her school. And she wanted to come to the council. We'll just stand at the microphone and just face us.
Okay.
And sort of explain to the council sort of your thesis and what you're doing.
Okay. So over the last about 2 years, probably ever since Hurricane Sandy hit, I decided that I was going to do my master's thesis at Monmouth University on the hurricane and how it affected Belmar. So my major that I'm going to be graduating in May with is actually anthropology. So I'm focusing on emergency management and disaster planning. So on top of doing my thesis, I've also been interning at the American Red Cross, kind of learning all the laws and everything that's done between shelters and evacuation routes and flood planning. So my thesis kind of aims at acknowledging all the vulnerabilities of the town as well as creating resiliency and also coming up with different tactics as far as storms go for the future. So for this Saturday, I know it's running the same time as the Zoomathon that's going on for the campaign, but I'm going to be holding in the library an oral history workshop. So basically, any residents of the town, anybody that wants to come out and share their story, we're going to have Monmouth University students, undergrad and grad students there that are going to be on hand to take down the recordings and speak to people.
Excellent. And how did you come up with this idea?
The oral history workshop or my thesis? Or both?
I love
Well, I live in Manalapan, I'm in Monmouth County, but I've been coming to Belmar ever since I was born. And Belmar is really close to my heart, so when Hurricane Sandy hit, American Red Cross sent me here to volunteer. So I was one of the people that was going into people's basements and helping you clean and everything like that. I worked here for like 2-3 weeks at a time with the National Guard and everybody just to kind of help your town. And through my school and through my town, I had a fundraiser that sold bracelets and I helped rebuild your boardwalk. So I think my name's on 15th Ave on the big bulletin board. We're like clam diggers and we have like every single march out there. So I did a lot for Belmar. I mean, I do hope in the future when I can move out of my house to live in Belmar. So it just seemed right to do my thesis on the town. So when my thesis is completed and published, I was going to share it with you guys and give you guys copies because there are strategies in there, there's pamphlets in there, there's everything in there for the future.
That's great.
So,
Have you talked to Franny Hines?
no, I have not.
Mike? Can we get her in touch with Franny? If she's talking about preparedness and everything, he's, I guess, the closest to an expert we've got. I know everybody over there in your building is probably experts now.
Sure. I'll let Franny know about that.
Great, that's perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
And you're going to leave flyers, so if anyone here in the
Yeah.
audience is interested, Danielle's going to leave flyers up here that has all the information. Again, it's 11 to 3 at the Tarzan Media Center, which is the basement of the Belmar Library. The Zoomathon, funny you mentioned that, is Saturday
Sorry.
From 10 to noon. So I will come over after Zoomathon. I may be a little sweaty,
Okay.
but that's all right. As long as you don't take any pictures.
No, that's fine.
Disaster.
Brian was trying to zoom in because he would have in his eye.
Yeah.
I
It was
want
a
to thank you
Zumba
for
accident.
volunteering. Thank you. You look familiar, but just before you probably had mud all over you.
Yeah,
Good, thank you very much for that.
You're very welcome. There will be food. I'm bribing for anybody that wants to come out. Food, drinks, we will have stuff.
When you say drinks to this crowd.
Water, not alcoholic beverages. Sorry. Sorry, I don't have a license
Most
to
of
do
the town to show
that.
up if you're, you know.
But it should be fun. It should be exciting. I have a lot of pictures. I have a lot of videos. So like there'll be slideshows and stuff going on. It'll be very interactive. So it's a pretty good time.
All right, thanks, Danielle.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it. Next, if the council wouldn't mind joining me off the dais for a second time. So we have a great announcement tonight, a promotion in our Department of Public Works, hence all the very handsome gentlemen in the DPW gear here. And that is the promotion to Deputy Superintendent of our DPW. He's worked, how many years a year now?
18.
18 years. He does a phenomenal job. And I'd like to actually have Mike Campbell come up and say a few words about John as we come over.
Sure.
Hi. Before I start that, I just want to tell you how proud I am of all the guys that are here, John included, of course. But you guys constantly, since I've been here, come up to the mics and you thank me as the face of DPW for something we had done or something we continue to do, or after the storm, or just keeping the beach clean, or whatever it's going to be. And I told you before, I'm just the face of what happens. These are the gentlemen who do the work, so I'd just like to have my guys take a bow. I said it before, all I do is steer the ship. These are the gentlemen who constantly have to go in your sewers, your water, on your beaches, pick up, clean up, take debris, brush on a constant basis. They're happy to do it. We have a motto over at the DPWs on the board for anyone to see. These guys see it daily. Service is what we provide. Willingly is how we provide it. And those guys bought into the concept, they believe it, and we hope we've changed the face of DPW. And that brings me into John. When Franny left, it certainly left a hole with us, but you have to move forward, you have to keep going. There's not a person in Belmar, Monmouth County that John doesn't know, and if he doesn't know you, give him 10 minutes, he will know you. His work ethic is impeccable. He has respect of the men, which obviously you can see that he does. I hand-selected him to be my partner in moving forward for the next 4 years. So again, we spoke to the mayor and council, they had no problem with it, not an objection from any of the men. As far as I know, everyone will support him. And again, I'm very proud that all the men came out to support him tonight. But again, John and I will, as I promised, we'll let John talk, and then you'll be bored, because it'll stop for about 2 hours. But John will, we vow to continue to work as hard, if not harder, to keep Belmar the way we love it, and keep things moving forward. So with that, Mr. Mayor, if you want to bring John up.
Come on up, John, go on. Let's give it a Congratulations, Deputy Superintendent.
Thank you, sir.
Well,
Really appreciate it.
18 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Careful the next question, Mayor.
John, you want to say a few words?
Just two. No. I just want to say thank you to the mayor, council, all the administration for entrusting me with the men. I mean, they do a great job. The team, you know, with Mike's leadership has been tremendous. With the support of the council, you put us in a position to be successful. And it actually has shown over the last couple of years with the things that we've been able to do. And with your guidance and Mike's guidance, we're just going to get better in the future. So for all you residents out there, you all have my number. Call me at any time. If I can't help you, it's because I'm not allowed to, or we can't help you. So we will do everything we can for you. Okay? Thank you.
could you take George's camera phone? And if we could have the whole DPW come up and take a picture with John.
Let me guess who has to be in the front.
Oh, yeah.
Size order. No, it's a size order, John. I'll get there somewhere.
My shoulders.
Now I really look tiny.
This will be my Christmas card, so make sure you smile.
Are we all in there, young lady?
Yep, you're all in there. You ready? 1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bravo.
Thank you.
Very good.
¿Qué cañes? Calado, calo pasa.
All right, next item are petitions. Any petitions for the council? Approval of the minutes.
Okay. I move that the minutes of the meeting held on March 18th, 2015 be approved as reported, and that a copy thereof be posted on the borough's website.
Second?
Councilman McGovern?
Yes.
Councilman Kilpatrick?
Yes.
Councilman Nicholas?
Yes.
Mayor Doherty?
Yeah, you, that was the last meeting I was,
Yeah, that's what I was listening.
right.
Next are reports of the mayor and council, and I guess Council President McGovern kick it off, and also at some point tell us who we fought and how the other guy was.
Well, we had a raucous meeting and deciding who was going to anchor the bowling team, and I lost. So, my report is very quickly. Our annual Arbor Day ceremony is going to be held on Monday, April 20th. What it is, the Arbor Day program is offered to the 4th grade classes at both schools, Belmar Elementary and at St. Rose. We will have about a 20 to 30 minute talk with the kids from the people from the Shade Tree Commission, and then we're going to go outside and we're going to plant a 10-foot tree, oak tree, a red oak, which is the state tree, in front of the Belmar Elementary School, because this past summer one of the big trees had to be taken down because it had died. So we're going to replace it with a new tree. Hopefully in many, many years it'll grow as big as the one that it's replacing. St. Rose Grammar School, which does not have a campus, we're going to take the 4th grade over to the Belmar Public Library, and on the library grounds we're going to plant a similar 10-foot red oak tree. At the program we're going to pass out to each one of the 4th grade students, which is probably approximately about 100, a 2-year-old red oak seedling, which we hope that they'll plant in their yard or in their neighborhood, in their community. And really the purpose of it is to encourage them to think environmentally, the value of trees in your town, and which I have to say that it's coming back. After the storm, initially a lot of people were upset with the trees because so many fell down, took down the wires, everything like that. But now we're getting people that are calling me up and calling April up, and they're interested in replanting the trees out in front of their yard. That's a good sign. And we encourage anybody to do that as long as they plant the correct tree. You don't want to plant a tall tree that's going to grow very tall underneath the electric lines or anything like that. So there are trees that only grow 15 feet, 20 feet, 25 feet. If you're on the other side of the yard, other side of the street, where there aren't power lines, then you can plant another tree that'll grow even taller. So that's my report.
Thank you, Council President. Councilwoman Thielmeyer.
Last Thursday, the Bicycle Pedestrian Safety Committee met, and we met with the two engineers from the County of Monmouth. We talked to them about Ocean Avenue and 16th Avenue, which are both county roads. Along Ocean, what we would like to do or have done is to put a bicycle lane on Ocean Avenue, just to make aware of, for everyone, that the roads are there. Also putting up some signs. The first order of business on that is to get a formal engineering study done. We're hoping that will happen very, very shortly, and that when Ocean Avenue is paved in the fall, that there'll be new markings put in, hopefully bicycle lanes put in, and it'll look quite different next summer than it has in the past, and try to make it safer for everyone, whether you're walking, biking, or driving. We also discussed 16th Avenue. 16th Avenue is turned into a speedway sometimes. Very few people abide by the 25-mile-an-hour speed law. They seem to like to do 40. We asked the county engineers what can be done to slow the traffic down. Some of our ideas we were told we cannot do. They came up with suggestions of formal crosswalks, and they have said that formal crosswalks do slow traffic down. So I would imagine at some point, hopefully in the near future, we'll see some crosswalks go in on 16th Avenue. And this is between Route 71 and Route 35, because that seems to be our major problem on 16th. They're high definition crosswalks is what they're called. The county also told us, the engineers told us, that they will be bringing down their speed trailer occasionally. That's the one that sits there and it flashes your speed, and it just makes you aware that you're going over the speed limit. It was a very good meeting. I think everyone on the committee was very pleased with the outcome, and now we just have to see some results from it. Saturday, this Saturday, the 11th, from 1 until 4, also, the Historical Society is opening their museum. Everyone is welcome to go to that. So Saturday's a busy day here in Belmar. Zumba in the morning. If nothing else, come and watch and laugh. And then the oral histories there in the library, and then off to the museum for the grand opening. Wednesday, the 15th, is the senior luncheon here in the gym. Danielle will be back. She's coming down on Saturday, to be in the library. She'll be back to talk to the seniors about her project and to try to get some information from some of the people that attend the luncheon. The Windmill is providing the food. Belmar Women's Club, the Monopoly game, they are planning a Monopoly game to be sold for this fall, just before Christmas. If you remember last year, there were cookbooks that were sold. This year it's a Monopoly game. If you've played it as a child, you know that it was based on Atlantic City. Well, why not have it based on Belmar? The Women's Club is in the process of selling the spaces around the board to the various businesses in town. There will be pictures on the cover and on the board of Belmar places and things that are specifically Belmar. When the game does come out, the price will be $28.95, and they should be available in September or the 1st of October, just before Christmas. Speaking of the Belmar Women's Club, the tree that's being planted at the library, they will be dedicating that tree on the 24th of April. I guess they're the ones who are paying for that tree. The Conservation Committee From the
There's two
Belmar
separate
Women's
trees.
Club. Two separate trees. Oh, so
Women's Club and Arbor Day.
okay, so the library is getting 2 trees this year, so
Yes.
that's great. The Women's Club will be dedicating theirs on the 24th. And the Women's Club is having a blood drive on the 29th from 3 until 7 at the First Aid Squad here in Belmar. So please, if you're able to participate in the Belmar Women's Club blood drive. And that's everything, thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Jennifer
Start with Belmar Recreation. Junior guard registration is starting or will be on May 6th from 6 p.m. to 7:30. It's for ages 9 through 17 and spots are limited, first come, first served. My daughter had attended last year and it's one of the best programs in the town that we put on. Summer camp, as you've heard, Belmar is hosting or holding a summer camp June 29th through August 14th. It's 7 weeks, and it's arts and crafts and walking tours and surfing camp, sailing camp, and lots of other fun things. It's $500 for residents and $600 for non-residents. For the second child, there's a 25% discount. It's for ages 1st grade through 6th grade. And it will be about 1 counselor to 10 children. They're going to be separated by 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade, 4th, 5th, 6th. So please register. You can call Borough Hall or drop off a registration form. And we're hoping to have a minimum of 55 people by April 30th. So please spread the word. St. Rose Grammar School is doing for Paint the Town Pink, which will be the month of May. They're going to do a dress down day where the kids wear pink and they donate $2 towards the fundraiser for it, and the money will go towards women who are unable to afford mammograms. They're also going to decorate the school and put streamers and balloons outside. The Belmar Arts Council, it's the last week for their photography exhibit called People. If you haven't seen it, it is great, just like all the exhibits they hold there. Goes through April 10th. So please try to get over there to see that. And in the latest edition of the Co-Star, in the People section, was a great article on Chris Krebs, who does the music over at the Arts Council and also does the Arts Council music in Piano Plaza. So it was a great tribute to him. Belmar Elementary School, they're going to be closed till April 13th, back to school on Monday the 13th. There's a family bingo night on Wednesday, April 15th at 6:30. Thursday, April 16th is a jewelry fundraiser. Bring any of your old, broken, or unwanted jewelry from 3 to 5 or 6 to 8 p.m. in the Media Center. And proceeds will benefit the 8th grade trip. Belmar is looking for community members to participate in Career Day and present to the students. If anybody would like to participate, please call the school and ask for Mrs. Casarelli. There's BTO Book Fair the week of April 20th, actually it's the 20th through the 23rd. The spelling bee will be for 1st grade through 3rd grade, will be April 29th at 6:30. And the Lake Como and Belmar board meetings will be held Thursday, April 30th, 6 to 7. And as always, I just want to promote to shop locally, especially with the nice weather. Get out and about, walk around the streets, and purchase some nice items from our businesses in town.
Thank you. Did you want to mention
Yeah, I mentioned in the last meeting that I've been part of co-chair along with Claire Dykey and Louise Minkosh in Lake Como for Paint the Town Pink. It's the whole month of May. It's not Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's actually the awareness of the importance of mammograms. And for the whole month of May, we're getting the town all decorated with pink line down the street, pink lights in the plaza, bows on the poles. We're hoping that residents will put bows outside their homes. Claire Dykey is actually going to hold a community awareness event. And you want to speak a little bit? Or
Yes, actually it was Janice Blackburn's idea through the Women's Club. What we're going to be doing is we're going to, I guess I should go to the microphone, get in trouble here. What we're going to be doing is we're going to have an event, and it's going to be very, very special. As you know, Councilwoman Nicolay is the face of our Paint the Town Pink and has taken out all of the details and responsibilities. But it was our other councilwoman, Councilwoman Blackburn, who came up with the idea of a special health program, an awareness program about mammograms. The mammogram saved my life 15 years ago. So I'm very happy about that. As you know, Jennifer also is a breast cancer survivor. We're going to have speakers come in from Meridian Health. Meridian Health is in charge of this initiative of Paint the Town Pink. 40 towns in Monmouth and Ocean County are participating. And I can't thank the borough enough for your involvement. It came out of our little Belmar breast cancer group, Belmar Cares, that we should be participating. The Belmar Women's Club is also participating. It was Councilwoman Kim Blackburn that said maybe we should have an event. So we're going to have health professionals from Meridian Health, and then for fun, and I'm very excited about this because we have local salons on board, we're giving free pink manicures and free pink hair extensions that I'll wear all of May. My grandchildren will just love it. And we're also going to have people who do massages for shoulder massage. It's going to be like a fun kind of a spoiling day for women. And then they're going, the first part from 6 to 7, we're having those events in the community room. The speakers will be in here from 7 to 8. And then Belmar Cares and the Belmar Women's Club is baking, they're baking pink cupcakes. So it should be a splendid, splendid evening. We're getting a lot of advertising out, but it was actually Jennifer who really brought the whole initiative together here in Belmar. So I thank you for the opportunity to tout that event, and Councilwoman Blackburn for coming up with that special meeting for women. And we hope to have, I'd like to see 100 women come to that event. So I'm working on that. But I also am going to give special thanks to the salons who are on board for volunteering to do the nails and the hair extensions and everything else. So that's working very well. Thank you.
And the other thing is part of this campaign is that the local businesses go to the Meridian website and they register their business, and they get a free kit to decorate the outside of their business. And there's bows and there's markers to do the windows. Their name gets listed in the brochure and on the website there, so it's great exposure for the businesses. Of all the 40 communities in town, Belmar has the highest registrations right now, 2 weeks in a row. So kudos to our businesses, and if you could spread the word for those that haven't registered to register. Thank you to the whole Belmar Cares, Janice and Claire and everybody for walking business to business with the brochure. The other thing that we're doing, and it'll be quite exciting, on May 24th, Sunday of Memorial Day weekend, rain date will be Monday, is at 11 o'clock there's going to be check-in for anybody and everybody who would like to participate in a Guinness Book record breaking. It's called Pinky Promise, and basically part of this campaign is if you pinky swear with somebody, you promise to tell one person the importance of mammograms. Right now there's a world record of 331 people end-to-end that have locked pinkies for 1 minute and have said the promise of telling someone about a mammogram. And we're looking to break that on May 24th. Again, 11 o'clock check-in. It's going to be at Silver Lake. We're going to have the area roped off. There's going to be refreshments, entertainment. The Guinness Book, they're actually going to be there to judge the event. And just spread the word.
And
exciting.
Just one more comment. If we get a handful of women to get mammograms, then I think that is a good effort on our part. I'm thinking very, very low, but if we get a handful who've never had a mammogram, get one, I think that we have done our job here with Paint the Town Pink. Thank you so much.
No, thank you for your leadership, former council president.
No problem, but these two ladies have done the yeoman's effort. Yes, you have.
Thank you, Councilman Nicolay. Only thing I want to mention in my report is one thing that's on the agenda, it's on the consent agenda, and that is the introduction of our 2015 municipal budget. The highlight of this budget, as in the past 4 budgets, is there is no property tax increase in Belmar for the 5th year in a row. And just as Director Campbell gave kudos to his rank and file at DPW. I really have to give a lot of kudos to first and foremost, our business administrator. She's not with us tonight. She's on vacation, a well-earned vacation. But she does a tremendous job managing a challenging budget, particularly after Sandy and our continued recovery from that storm. Also, our chief of police does a remarkable job managing our police department, and of course, Director Campbell with our Department of Public Works. Also, you know, the budget's put together in conjunction with the department heads, like Chief Palmisano and Director Campbell, with our Chief Financial Officer, Robin Kirk, who also is great at her job. You know, tonight the introduction is on for the consent agenda. We'll post the entire budget, hopefully by the end of this week, for the public to take a look at, and it's for the council to consider. I don't think we'll have passage until May 5th. Yeah, so we skip next meeting and then passage after that. And I'll tell you, one place we receive no money is in state aid. So you may have heard about, you know, cutbacks in state aid. For us, it doesn't matter. We don't get it anyway. But when you look at our different pools, our general fund, beach utility, parking utility, water, sewer, all of them are very financially strong, which is what allows us to have a no tax increase for the 5th year in a row. And we'll discuss it more, but all members of the council are also encouraged and invited to meet with the chief financial officer and the business administrator to question anything on the budget, meet with department heads as well. You know, I think at the end of the day, our council is as educated and informed on our municipal budget as any council that there is in this entire state, because they're so aggressive about knowing what's in it and paying attention to how the money's spent. So that's some really good news that's on for introduction tonight. But that's my report. Next, we'll have public session on the resolution calendar itself. So if anyone has comments, questions on the resolution calendar, please raise your hand. We can be called on, come to the front where the microphone is, state your name and address for the record, and then what your comment or questions. Seeing none, I'll make a motion to close the public portion of the resolution calendar.
Second. All in favor?
Aye. Next, I'll offer the consent agenda, the resolution agenda by consent.
Councilwoman Kell Blackburn?
Yes.
Councilman McGovern?
Actually, I guess I was asleep there for a second. There's one resolution on there, the authorizing Borough of Belmar to enter a shared service agreement with the Borough of Spring Lake for payroll services. You know, that's to our employee that's been doing that for several years, that's going to be a significant cut to that person's salary. And I don't know if the savings, I mean, I like the idea of interlocal agreements, but this seems to really penalize that one worker's been doing for years. And I don't know if the savings is that great for that. You know, could we pull that out and vote on that separately, or did I do that too late?
No. I'll make a motion to take out the resolution authorizing the Borough of Belmar to enter into a shared service agreement with the Borough of Spring Lake for payroll services. I just need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So that's out of the consent agenda. So we'll go back to the consent agenda and then have that resolution separate.
Very good.
So I'll offer again the consent agenda.
Second?
Okay. Councilwoman Kell Blackburn?
Yes.
Councilman McGovern?
Yes.
Councilwoman Nicolay?
Yes.
Mayor Dyer?
Yes. And now I'll offer the resolution authorizing the Borough of Belmar to enter into a shared service agreement with the Borough of Spring Lake for payroll services. We have a few shared services, and a lot of times we end up providing the service and receiving the revenue. But in this case, we're looking to essentially outsource the payroll functions that, as you mentioned, one employee has. She, in the past, this wasn't her responsibility. When she was originally hired, it wasn't her responsibility. It was added on.
Amy Spear left.
I don't know the exact personnel changes, but what this would do is move it to Spring Lake. Again, the savings, you're correct, savings aren't extraordinary, but nonetheless, they are savings this year and every year going forward. And I think as much as we can take those duties that are somewhat repetitive, like payroll, and are able to try to find and do it in a more efficient and cost savings manner, I think it's worth it. That's sort of.
I agree with, I certainly agree with that philosophy. That just that this is a long-time employee, and if there's any way we could possibly make up the hours for her, I know she's got 2 college-age children, and in college is not cheap, so I really think we should look to see if there's something that we can let her do to pick up some of the hours so she doesn't get such a hit in her paycheck this time, while her 2 children are in college.
Right, and I would encourage, you could always do it individually, or I'd be happy to sit with the administrator, and if there's other services that she can provide for those hours. So in other words, we can't just give her hours without other responsibilities.
Right.
But if we could figure out other responsibilities that are efficient and maybe lacking, where we should enhance those services to residents, I think I'd be on board with that.
Second.
Councilman Ledford?
Yes.
Councilman Dover?
No.
Councilman Nicolay?
Yes.
Mayor Doherty?
Yes. Next is our ordinances. First is ordinance 2015-16. Ordinance amending and supplementing chapter 19 of the revised general ordinance of the Borough of Belmar, section 19-46, handicap parking spaces. We'll offer for first reading.
Second.
Councilman Ledford?
Yes.
Councilman Dover?
Yes.
Councilman Nicolay?
Yes.
Mayor Doherty?
Yes. Next is ordinance 2015-17, first reading introduction, calendar year 2015, model ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank. This is something we do annually. It's part of our budgeting process. This is on for a first reading, so I'll offer first reading.
Councilman Ledford? Councilman Dover?
Yes.
Councilwoman Nicolay?
Yes.
Mayor Doherty?
Yes. Last ordinance, ordinance 2015-15, second reading, public hearing, ordinance amending, supplementing chapter 19, traffic section 19-40.1, parking meter zones and regulations of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Belmar and County of Monmouth, New Jersey. Essentially what this ordinance does is it increases from $1 to $2 the meters that are currently in existence on the east side of Ocean Avenue. This is now opened up for public hearing. Any comments, questions, please raise your hand, wait to be called on, and come to the microphone. Yes, sir.
Rob Birnbaum, 5 Ocean Avenue, Unit 9B. I know the ordinance gives you the authority to put meters on both the east and west side of Ocean Avenue. Is that the intent to continue to just have the east side of Ocean Avenue, or will both sides be metered?
The existing ordinance permits meters on both sides. The change, the amendment to the ordinance that's on for today is to increase the cost from $1 to $2 on the east side.
Okay.
We're not voting today whether or not to put meters on the west side, but the borough could put meters on the west side at any time.
Okay.
It wouldn't be done by ordinance. It's already in the ordinance.
Thank you.
Seeing, oh, yes, sir.
I think it's a good idea to raise.
Name and address for the record.
Tom Volker, 301 4th Avenue, Belmar, New Jersey.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, thank you for that advertisement. I think it's a good idea to raise the funds. What I'm hoping is that a portion of the funds could be put into some sort of a parking authority where funds could eventually be raised to do something about parking on Main Street, maybe in the form of a parking garage or something like that. As we all know, it's extremely expensive. I think I've seen estimates of about $25,000 per car. But this would be a good use for some of those funds. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no one else, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing on this ordinance.
All in favor?
Next, I'll offer a move for adoption, ordinance 2015-15, and if any council members have comments on it, but so I'm offering it as an second.
Councilman Belmar?
I think everybody here knows that I absolutely hate parking meters. That they've been on Ocean Avenue forever. I hate to see us raise the price, but for every dollar that the town makes from outside, our taxes here in town stay lower. So I'm going to vote yes.
Councilman Belmar?
I don't like doubling the cost of the parking meters on the east side when we have 92 spaces on the west side that are going unmetered. I think we should do that right now. I think if we meter the west side, I think we can possibly keep the parking meters to $1. I see no reason at all why there's free parking on Ocean Avenue when there always used to be. I mean, I know I've heard arguments. Some of the people that live in the apartments, they're only designated one parking space. Well, you know what? There were metered parking on the west side before any of those buildings, apartment buildings, were ever built. I think we should go back and charge and meter the west side. What's going to happen, I think, when the forecast says partly cloudy, partly sunny, people may not come to Belmar because the parking is expensive. Or if they do come on a partly cloudy day, they're going to start parking down the local avenues instead of going to the boardwalk. And now the people down the avenues, the spaces in front of their houses are going to be blocked. Or if they pull up on a partly cloudy day thinking they're going to stay for 2 hours, and then it turns nice, and they're going to forget that they only put in for 2 hours, and all of a sudden they're going to come back to a parking ticket. I think let's keep it simple. Meter the west side like it used to be. We can pick up the 90 spaces that we lost when the Ocean Avenue was redone. And I don't think anyone can complain about $1 an hour. And it's only from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Anybody that lives in those apartment buildings, they can go out there when the people leave the beach, park there from 7 p.m. until 8 a.m. the next day. If they say, well, I can't move my car, well, if you got 2 cars, then on the weekend, use your car that's in the designated spot in the apartments. You know, find your parking space on the local avenues before the people come down on a Friday night. That's what my family does. You know, if we have a guest coming over on Saturday, we move our cars out of the driveway and put it on the street. So there's a space for our family or our friends the next day. You know, when you're a local and you live here for years, you know how to adapt. I can't see if you moved into apartments 15 years ago, and now I can't see how they can expect to have free parking on Ocean Avenue during the summer in Belmar. I mean, that's craziness. So I'm going to vote no.
Councilman Nicolay?
I'm going want to reiterate what Councilwoman Keown Blackburn said. I'm not a fan of meters either, but I do think it's important for the residents, the entire town, to keep our taxes down. I've looked into many options to avoid the increase, the doubling of the amount. The meters do not support getting change, so we can't go to $1.25, $1.50. In order to put meters on the west side, I heard the cost is extremely, extremely high. It would be kind of defeating the purpose of trying to have the increase in the meters. I think we have a lot to offer. I think we have a beautiful beach.
Jen, can I interrupt you on that? Why do we have to put a kiosk on every block on the west side? Those people that are parking there are going to be going to the boardwalk anyway. And as long as they don't jaywalk, they have to park between the lines, and it takes them right to a kiosk that's already there. I don't think we need to add new kiosks on the west side.
I did mention that as well, to walk across. Some feedback was safety reasons, but I don't have all the specifics.
You know, the people that park free on the west side are going to have to cross Ocean Avenue anyway. I don't think it's any less safe. You know, the kiosks are where they are for a purpose. They're in a very safe spot. Right? You have to get to them through walking across the crosswalk. Anybody else that just shoots across in the middle of the block, they're jaywalking. They're a violation. So I don't think we need to add kiosks on the west side. Even if it is, the inconvenience of walking across this, let's say you're going to one of the businesses on the west side, or you're going down to a barbecue down the block for a couple hours. The inconvenience of walking across Ocean Avenue to a kiosk and then going to I don't think it's that great a deal. I think everyone that comes and puts $2 in there, they're going to be complaining about it. You know, we're going to get unhappy people every time they have to pay $2 for a parking space. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, not at all. Furthermore, I know that we have, just as far as the benefits of Belmar, which I think everybody should or possibly are aware of, but at the lowest beach badges in any of the shore towns. We're offering this year, we're putting in water bottle filling stations. We're going to have charging stations for cell phones. We've got showers. We've got the cleanest bathrooms in all of any of the shore towns. You know, it's a vacation day for people. It's going places and kind of getting what you pay for. I wish we could do, I even offered up to do $2 for every 3 hours. Unfortunately, the meters do not support that either, which would be $1.50 an hour because of not being able to get change. But I am voting yes because I do see the importance for all the residents in town and keeping their taxes down.
Thank you. You know, we've been talking about metered parking now for a couple months. And it started off where we were going to do it around Silver Lake, Lake Como, and Schroeder Park. And we're trying to do it where we didn't go in front of people's homes. And as we brought that into the public, a lot of the feedback we got from the public was pretty negative towards that. Because even though it wasn't in front of people's homes, it was still close enough to them. And the idea of going from $1 to $2 didn't originate with any of us. This was a suggestion from the public at public meetings regarding parking meters. You know, in a lot of ways, Brian, you know, Council President McGovern is right. I mean, that's why it's already in the ordinance that, you know, at any time, the town could meter the west side. My hesitation is that it does put it in front of people's homes. You know, I agree with him on moving cars out, and people do have some silly complaints about it. And if you live here, you know, if you live in Belmar in the summer, it's a busy place. There's no doubt about it. You know, I hear people who complain about tourists. I'm like, if you live in Belmar, you're in the tourism business. You know, whether you like it or not. You know, talk to your realtor who sold you your house. So I'm going to vote yes. I think this is going to work. And by the way, if for some reason it doesn't, you know, we can always change this. I know people, when I talked about if we put meters in before and it didn't work, we take them out, and they were very, well, that's not going to make sense. We're only going to, I think we should only move forward on ideas that make business sense. And if we test them and they don't make business sense moving forward, then we would reverse course or try another avenue, no pun intended. But I think in this case, I think this will make sense. I think we have a lot to offer. I think people will pay it. And again, it generates a tremendous amount of money. I mean, we don't have any major industry in Belmar. Although now we do have a microbrewery, but outside of that, we don't have, any, we don't have big businesses on like Route 1 or Route 9 like they do up north. We just don't. But we have an incredible asset in our beach. And we do need to generate some revenue to keep our small town financially secure. So with that very long answer, I vote yes. That's the end of our ordinance calendar. Next is public session. Public session is very simple. Just raise your hand, wait to be called on, come to the microphone. Everyone gets 5 minutes, including our DPW director. And just before Director Campbell starts speaking, just let everyone know that his son Adam was recently promoted from captain to major in the United States Marine Corps. Let's hear it for him.
First, Mike Campbell. First, I wanted to say thank you for the mayor and the council support in selecting John. You guys have always been great in backing us up and getting us done, giving us the tools we need to succeed. So thank you. And I didn't know Mr. McGovern was going to step off, so I was going to ask him if it was okay, but a friend of ours, my wife and myself, Jane McGovern, is going through certainly a bad time right now. I'm just asking everybody to keep her in her thoughts. Right now, she's definitely going through a really bad time. So I just wanted to please let people, if they do so, pray or keep her in thoughts. We visited her today, and she's definitely having a tough time right now. So please keep Jane in her thoughts. We've known McGovern since we've been children, and we're just, I get upset about Jane. So.
And that's, as you can guess, we're Council President McGovern went home to. But just for the record, we still have a quorum on our council. Thank you, Director. Any other comments, questions for council? Yes, sir.
I see that 192nd Avenue. Good evening, Mayor, Council. Mayor, I'd like to address this question to excuse me, Councilwoman Blackburn, because this is regarding the bike safety lanes. I know it's a preliminary.
Sure, you can ask a question through the chair.
Oh, fair enough.
She can answer.
I was just wondering, based on original discussions with the Monmouth County engineering area, if they were considering the west side or the east side of the road for the bike lane.
We asked for both sides.
Both sides.
Apparently several years ago, I believe Mary Brennan said 2007 maybe, it was proposed, and we were told that we could not have them because of the space. We're hoping that once this formal engineering study is done, that there will be enough space for them to put lanes behind the angled parking on the east side, behind there, and then again on the west side next to the parallel parking.
Well, that's good. I think it's going to be difficult, because that's one of the reasons I asked. I was sitting here thinking about it, and because of the bump outs now,
yeah,
there's a tendency for people to try to go around turning cars. So if there was a bike lane there, delineated, it would probably greatly improve the safety of riding along the east side of the road. And I don't know if the road would accommodate on both sides, but I was just wondering which side they were tentatively talking about.
We'd like to see on both sides. One of the things that we did discuss with them was we really want it because we want the cars to see this lane, to see the bicycles painted on it, and just to make the cars aware that before you turn into a parking place, there could be a bicycle coming, behind you. And don't just zip in, or when you're backing out also, think about there could be a bicycle back there, back out a little slower.
Yeah, no, that's all good stuff, because that's exactly what happens is the kids tend to ride along that side. My son's got the surfboard sticking out of the bike, and it's narrow to begin with. That's why I didn't think the road would accommodate 2 lanes, just in my head. So I was thinking if it had to go on either side, I thought that the east side might be a better side of the road to select for that purpose, and so I was wondering what the preliminary discussions entailed. Thank you.
So we're asking for the world and hoping.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
For B Street, good evening. I was just wondering if we have anything in the works for our public safety building on the boardwalk. Have we been discussing that at all? Are we looking to do something that everybody was insisting that was an absolute must-have kind of thing? Are we even thinking about it?
Well, we had a vote on it back in August, and the bond to pay for it was voted down. And since then, you know, we are trying to figure out another way to come up with a means to pay for it.
I'm sorry, but wasn't FEMA going to reimburse us a certain amount of money for the public safety building?
Absolutely, but you have to, the way FEMA works is it's a reimbursement. So you have to bond first,
Right.
then you have to pay the contractor,
Right.
then you submit the paid invoices, then FEMA reimburses you.
Right, and aren't we allowed to use beach utility money for that? Since it is beach related?
Well, it was part of the project that was challenged in court, and we don't have a clear delineation right now as to whether or not we can use beach utility money for that entire project.
For the public safety, or we were showing both pavilions, correct? But the public safety building is specifically from the beach utility, is it not?
They were both put together.
By, I'm sorry.
In one court case, it was both
Right.
pavilions. It was the funding for both events.
Okay, so if we are to do something like that, we have to bond out for it. But we're not even discussing it as of this moment. You guys aren't talking about it at all, thinking about it at all?
I think about it constantly, that we don't have our Taylor Pavilion and our public safety building back. So we're gonna work on getting them back, but, again, we had a vote on August, and it was voted down.
Yeah, I realize that, but we're almost a year later and moving into the season. And if we know that FEMA will reimburse us a certain amount of money, can we think about possibly building something within that framework of what we think FEMA will reimburse us for? That's all. I just wanted to wonder if you guys were thinking of it at all. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more comments, questions? Yes, sir.
David Schneck, 302 C Street. Just on the subject of bicycle safety, my own observation is that there's a lot of dangers out there from bicyclists not obeying traffic laws, specifically going the wrong direction, riding the wrong direction on the road. And I would really like to see some public education, especially of our young people, on this, because they need to be made aware that a lot of motorists, I always look to the right, even if I'm making a right, even though you wouldn't expect cars to be coming from the right. The bicyclists, you know, especially on Main Street when they're coming over the drawbridge from Avon, they ride the wrong direction. You have to look, and I tell my daughter, who's a new driver, to always make sure you're not just looking for cars, you're looking for bicyclists, and they could be coming from any direction. You know, and I would like to see more done to educate, you know, like I said, particularly young people who seem to think that when they're on a bicycle that the traffic laws are not applicable to them, but they're there for their safety, and I'd like to see those laws enforced and obeyed better.
Thank you.
I'm glad you asked that, because that's part of the committee's, what the committee has been working on is an education subcommittee also, and that'll be part of it.
Yeah, that's it. They don't stop at red lights. They just fly right through them. And
it's not just the young ones, it's the old ones too, so.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
and also people don't use lights at night on their bicycles, and they can see us, so they think everything's fine, but in a lot of cases, especially if they're wearing dark clothing or clothing that's not reflective, you can't even see them, you know.
When the committee first started, that was basically some of the first things we talked about, was the bike riders. and especially at night, but the way
Yep.
they ride and where they ride also.
I would really like,
That'll be a big part of this program is education for the bicyclists also.
yeah, and especially these young people, because that's so, you know, would be so tragic, you know, the young person, they think they're invincible, and, you know, that we don't want to see any young people hurt because they weren't, you know, properly educated on bicycle safety. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Gene Kramer, 4th Avenue. A couple months back, a couple people mentioned about people's homes not having numbers on the outside that are visible to first responders or others for that matter. Anyhow, there's still a lot of homes in town that don't have house numbers on the outside, certainly that are visible from the street. I just wanted to remind everybody, you don't have to go to Taylor Hardware to buy numbers for your home, although you could, I'm sure you could get nice fancy numerals to put up on the outside of your house. You can actually log into the USPS, the Postal Service website, USPS.com, and go to supplies and request a set of house numbers or box numbers, and they'll send them to you for free. And you'll actually, besides helping first responders, you might actually be helping out postal delivery people. And I've noticed, maybe others have noticed also, there's quite a few new people delivering mail now. Apparently there's been some consolidation, I guess, with Avon and Bradley Beach post offices. And we still have a lot of homes in town that don't have any visible way of telling what the house number is. Just a suggestion, USPS.com.
Thank you. Actually, on the same topic, I went to the post office today and I saw they had a sign that they're hiring letter carriers. So, if anyone's interested in working for the Postal Service, they're hiring. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Joy Sanctus, 101 6th Avenue. I just wanted a little clarification on what you had just said about the pavilions. So we are not considering anything on the safety pavilion at all because it's still attached to the Taylor Pavilion? Is that what you said?
I know I said we've been thinking about it since the vote in August that voted down the bond to pay for both of them. But right now we don't have a bond or anything like that to build either one.
Could you bond for $2 million instead of 7 and just consider building the safety building?
We could.
Is there a reason you're not doing that?
Because I think they both need to be rebuilt.
So basically, it's both of them or none?
Well, if you remember, the vote in August was to build both of them. At the same time, it's cost effective, makes the most sense, saves taxpayer money as opposed to building one and then building another.
I think if you would speak with the first aid department and some of the emergency services, they would really be proactive in separating the buildings and considering building the safety building on its own without attaching it to the Taylor Pavilion and or building both buildings within the budget that FEMA has approved. Is there any reason we can't do that?
Because it doesn't add up.
Because we can't build within the FEMA budget.
Right. And when we had a vote on this, people said publicly that people would build pavilions for $4.2 million and they're going to have a plan for that. And since August, no one's presented any plans to rebuild both pavilions for $4.2 million.
Have we asked our engineers to do a little redesign, maybe make it smaller? Certainly we wouldn't want...
If they design, increase, decrease, it'll increase the cost. So, no. I don't think we're going to add any more cost to the design of the buildings.
So if we could get an engineer to revisit the plans, would you consider that? Another engineer? Is that what you're saying?
We're not going to pay another engineer.
Okay, so we have to build the pavilions with the plans that the engineers have already designed.
Well, currently we don't have either pavilion. We put a bond out for it. It was challenged.
I understand that.
And
$7 million bond.
Let me finish. And since then, we we haven't had any bonds before the council to build out a building.
Who would present the council with bonds?
Well, the mayor and business administrator and the CFO.
Okay, so you have not presented any bonds. So my question is, why can't you present a bond for one of the buildings, the safety building, which I think the entire town agrees needs to be built?
Well, I disagree, the entire town thinks that.
You're right, they don't. There's some people that don't want to.
But at the same time, it's more cost effective to build them both at the same time than to build them separate.
Okay, thank you.
Seeing no other comments, make a motion to close the public portion, public session adjourned. Aye.